magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
How about now? Amazing. That's twice now. Unbelievable. How are we doing now? Are we good? Okay. Sound quality good. Everything good. I think I have to start doing mic checks from now on before I go live. There we go. There we go. That's twice now that's happened. Ah, well. How we all doing? My name's Proto Man. Let's try this from the top, shall we? My name's Proto Man. This is the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday night live stream main event. How we all doing? I just had some late supper just a couple moments ago. Had a whole bunch of tacos, so kind of had to scramble to put this all together just in time to do everything. So let's get this started. We're gonna have to use the other microphone, I guess, instead of this microphone because, well, everything was cobbled together quickly. But how we all doing? It is the Saturday night main event. My name's Proto Man. This is the face that runs this place. This is the Transformer Slag podcast. And welcome to yet again another evening of talking about the robots in disguise, covering some news, taking some super chats from the fans, and answering some questions. We're going to open up one or two little products that we got in the mail this week, and just relax, more or less, shall we? I see some familiar names are back. Lord Soundwarp, congratulations on the job I saw here. Where was it? You're working at a nice restaurant now, Michelin restaurant, and not the tires. So good for you. Princeton Phalanx 59. What's up? What's up? What's up? We got Link CW. We got Rodimus Power Toy Unboxing. Who am I missing here? Whole bunch of people coming in. Horned Owl. A lot of people popping in. Mikey and Louie, T-Formers 2002, one of my patrons. A lot of good stuff tonight, guys. If I miss anyone's, well, I'll catch your names later in the queue today. So, let's cover some news. There's some new stuff we got to cover that we didn't cover this week. We got little things here and there. We're going to open up some stuff. We're going to take some super chats from the fans afterwards. If you want to give your opinions or anything like that, and you want me to read up on stuff, just hit that super chat button during the news and we will cover it. Got a lot of cool stuff today. A lot of cool stuff today to cover. Shall we? So let's get into that. Got 2 bottles of water today because it's quite a bit. So let's start first. Let's start first with a brand new train bot. Let me get some water in me first because let me tell you something. Don't have like 6 tacos before you do a live stream because you're going to be all gassy. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. I blame Mikey and Louie because they went for Mexican yesterday. So it put me on my mind. I wanted that. Anyways, so we got a brand new member of our Raiden Trainbot combiners, the MPG line, or the G series, as some people like to refer to it as, the Gatai combiner series, Gatai Giant Gestalt. And it is that of MPG 05 Seizan. MPG 5 Seizan is now here. He is the awesome 485 Limited Express Electric Locomotive, the 200 series, which is probably, I'd have to say, out of all the stuff that Raiden has, would probably be the one locomotive or engine that you would probably see in America and Canada the most, is this one here, especially during like the 80s and 90s, if you're familiar with, let's say, Via Rail or the Trans Express. So This is a pretty cool one. Very excited about this one because it's one that I'm more familiar with as opposed to other kinds of expresses. Don't call them trains. People don't like it when you call them trains. They're supposed to be called engines, tank engines, if you will, for some of them. But anyways, um, the only complaint I have about this one is just the choice of colors. I found it very interesting that they went with a very strong beige. I understand that it's a more accurate to the actual locomotive itself if it goes with the beige color scheme as opposed to the show accurate yellow. But considering how, Masterpiece has always been more about show accuracy and toy or color accuracy, stuff like that afterwards is usually in a second release. But we'll see, we'll see. But I dig it. I still think he looks pretty cool. It's awesome that he comes with the light sword, which was something that was a anime exclusive weapon to Raiden back in the day. The original toy back in '87 and even in the Diaclone days did not come with a sword, so that's a nice little touch that is included there. Pretty hype. What's good about this too is you will be able to actually get it at an affordable price through Hasbro Pulse. Hasbro Pulse is going to be carrying this, and it's at $154.99. The pre-orders start today and will close January 31st, 2023. So you have until the end of the month to get your pre-orders in. It's a pretty low price for a masterpiece, in my opinion, especially how good these are. I mean, I have Shuki, and I really like them. And I know that these guys are slowly coming out. I mean, the pre-orders are up, but a lot of them have not shipped out yet. This guy is going to be shipping out at the end of this year. So you're going to pre-order now at the beginning of the year. You won't see it until the end of the year. But I mean, these all got pushed back because of the big V and everything like that. But I still think it looks absolutely fantastic. I love how he looks. Again, if you're an American, this is probably out of all the train bots, you'd probably be the most familiar with out of all of them. So pretty hype stuff otherwise. And that gives us, again, we're pretty much down to just the last guy now. We have 5 of our 6 Raiden members. And the last one that's left is Kain. And Kain, who's gonna, it kind of makes, I guess we'll call it the crotch piece, lower torso. Whenever you got 6 combiners, you always have a guy that's doing upper torso and lower torso, kind of like Devastator or even that of let's say like the Dino King members or something. So or Monstructor for Americans. So now we have the final members, the last one we're going to be waiting for. We don't have an image of how he's going to look. Obviously, we could base it off of his original toy and animation model. And Kine, what's interesting about him, is he's the DE10 diesel locomotive. So it's that one that kind of looks like a caboose, but it's not. It's actually an engine. And he's going to be interesting to see how they do him because he's a very different kind of design compared to some of the others that are more grounded in, I guess, more familiar Japanese train technology. So pretty cool. And again, this is important. This is important because once this guy is done, it's going to be now Takara Tomy going, okay, how were the sales all overall for this? Was this profitable? Was this worth our time? Did we have a good schedule? There's going to be all kinds of questions that are going to come up in the offices back in Japan on what's going to be next. Because that's the beautiful thing with Transformers is once something's done, we celebrate, we enjoy it, but then we look forward. We look at what is next. And so what is going to be next? Is it going to be Devastator? Is it going to be like, that would be the obvious one. That would be the one that would sell well. Given that probably when the last member Kine comes out, it might even be like 2024, like let's say March. So we'll have a good distance away from any other Devastator trademarks that might need refreshes. Who knows? Who knows? But it is something that is an interesting conversation to have because what will be next? Not to mention with the fact that Legacy through Menasor kind of opened up the idea of like, these commander slash almost Titan scale kind of combiners now. We've left the era of combiner wars with our deluxes and our Voyager to make one piece. Now we got this Titan in deluxes. So it leads to bigger characters and different kinds of engineerings and show accuracy, which has always been kind of the name of the game with Masterpiece. So Menasor was already kind of doing the show accuracy thing. So there's a lot of questions to ask with what will be next. But again, if you want to pre-order Seizan, pre-orders are up right now. Again, pre-orders close at the end of the month for this, so get in there to lock in your pre-order if you can. $154.99, and he will be popping, hopefully, in your mailbox at the end of this year. It's a long wait, but trains are kind of the slowest form of transportation in a lot of ways, depending on what you're using. Unless you're using the bullet train, obviously, but In the West, we're not really used to that yet, so we'll see what happens. But I dig it. I think it's cool. I'm a big train guy. Always have been my whole life since I was a kid. So I was very excited about Raiden and his diversity of little trains and everything like that. Pretty cool stuff. I'm an HO scale kind of guy for people who know what train collecting and stuff like that. Still have my old train set from since I was like 3 years old, just to give an idea of how far back that goes. Anyways, let's jump into the next one, shall we? And it's time to go into some Rise of the Beast talk. We're going to be talking about this for a good chunk now. So strap in. If you're not a fan of movieverse stuff or Beast stuff, I apologize, but this is what the conversation is going to be for the next couple of minutes. So we're going to first start with our better images of our core class RC. We saw some images early this week that came from Amazon Australia, and then finally the official pre-orders came out just the following day afterwards on Hasbro Pulse, as well as a whole bunch of beautiful behind the scenes images and CG mock-ups and design images from Sam Smith, one of the big names in the Studio Series imprint within Hasbro design team. So shout out to Sam and the good work that he's doing there. And we got the CRC. This is the core class. So obviously it has the limitations of the core class price point. So you can't be too critical of it because you have to understand this is a 3.5-inch figure that is trying to do all it can with the complexity of a movie design. So I still think it looks great though, in all honesty. I mean, when you think about it, the old Energon RC back in the day that turned into a motorcycle was 4 inches. And that was, geez, what's kind of crazy when you think about it, 20 years ago, 2003. Man, time flies. So this looks pretty good though. I'll be honest with you. You know, it comes with a little gun, just like in the trailer when she's leaning on Wheeljack. Looks pretty cool. Sam Smith provided these nice little images on the bottom here showing each sides on the sides. And of course, he also took a little photo shoot showing some little stuff that wasn't documented in the photo. She has like a wheel feet mode. Got a little bit of that trans tech kind of design baked in there. I like that. The little wheel feet. Very nice. Um, it's probably an undocumented feature, but it's more just, fan modes. Even coming from a designer, it's a lot of fun. And I think she looks really good, I'll be honest with you. And it's a core class. So on top of her looking really good, it's going to be probably very affordable. So, hey, sign me up. I'm down for it. I think it looks cool. Core class, it's affordable. RC looks great. And I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to be getting maybe a larger price point RC, her code name is Orion. So if you ever see an Orion price point in the future, we know that we'll have other options. We do know that she is going to be in two of the mainline stuff. I believe it was the power combiners and the power changers. I believe were the two other price points that she's going to be in because we saw Orion listings in relation to those. So we'll see what happens, but I think she looks good. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm alone in that, but I dig it. I think it looks cool, and we'll see what happens from there. And then another one that looks weird that we didn't really know much about, originally listed as Delta 1, and now we have a name with it. And it's not a Dragon Ball character, but his name is Frieza. Or Freezer, actually, in this case. But, you know, this guy here, this is clearly, it's listed as a Terracon. It's listed as a core class. This is potentially one of those Terracon Goonies that we saw in the background of that big battle at the end of the trailer. That's what I'm assuming these characters are. They could be just, I would assume initially they would just be toy line exclusive characters. Movie lines have always been kind of filled with those, but those have always been mostly, again, mainline movie line stuff. Studio Series has never really made figures of stuff that really wasn't 100% something that had some kind of fictional representation, not just a toy exclusive character. So the fact that he's a core class, the fact that he's part of Studio Series and a core class says that this will be a character that's in the movie. Will he transform into his little spider tank turret, walking bipedal lockdowns pet dog looking thing? I don't know. That's a different question to be answered. I mean, look, we didn't really see a transformation for the Fallen, but his Studio Series toy had a transformation, so it wouldn't surprise me if this guy also kind of has something like that. His listing said that he transforms into a weapon that could be used by other core class members, so he might have a 3 millimeter peg hole on him or something. We'll see what happens with that in the future, but he is intriguing. Anyone that saw my individual segment on that or my tweet about him. He's a very General Grievous looking character. So you could grab those extra lightsabers from your Star Wars crossover Transformers and put them in his hands, and then you could have him fight your 2011 Starfighter Obi-Wan in a battle to the end, so to speak. But yeah, he's a weird looking guy. Also got that frenzy looking head sculpt from 2007 movie Michael Bay. A lot of weird stuff going on here. A lot of weird stuff. Now let's talk about another Terracon, the big bad himself. We also got to see through various leaked listings and various leaked images, and it's that of our Leader Class Studio Series Scourge. Now, Scourge here looks fantastic. We do know it's a Leader Class because we've had multiple listings of Scourge, but none of them that really suggest anything outside of 2 gimmick items and a Leader Class price point. And considering we've seen images of this figure also in comparison with other Studio Series stuff, this pretty much cements that it's a small Leader Class figure with a whole bunch of accessories and fun little pieces. Looks good though. I like how he looks. I like that it really is something where if they said, hey, we're going to do Black Convoy, Car Robots, Black Convoy, but we're going to do like a Bayverse version of him and not just do like a straight up black repaint Optimus Prime like every other Black Convoy really has been throughout the years, or a Nemesis Prime. So it's an interesting take. I like it. I'm really curious how the light piping is going to be, because if you look at the back of his head there, he clearly has the light piping that's there. So looks pretty cool. I'm digging what I see. We got a super chat here from Alden Tolbert, $2 super chat. It would be awesome if TFV, I guess he means Transformers Victory, Star Saber in US cartoon. Well, the closest we ever got to Star Saber in any kind of US media was Wing Saber from Energon, but even then that's a Japanese series. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to. Star Saber's always been a weird one for bringing to the West. That's always been a tough one. And he's a character I love to death. He's definitely in my top 10 easily. But that's always been a tough one to kind of bring over. Mostly from a trademark standpoint, there's always been issues with that. They always hated that it sounds so, especially, mind you, keep in mind the problems that they had back then were when Star Wars was a big deal, and now Star Wars is kind of waning a little bit. And especially if this movie does well with Rise of the Beast, I think Star Wars is going to take a back seat to the robots in disguise, but I hope we get to see more Star Saber in the future. Something that's retail for people, retail, affordable. I don't want people to have to wait for this story to somehow happen again. So it'd be really cool if it was a retail product for people to enjoy. Really would be. But back to Scourge. Thank you again, Alden Tolbert, for the super chat. Thank you, thank you. So, I mean, he looks really good, Scourge. He has his spinning claw weapon. He has his double-bladed sword thing. He's got his little buster weapon that clips on top, and his vehicle mode. Let's just pull that one up here. I mean, again, look at the light piping that goes through the vehicle mode, that goes through the engine bay. Very demonic looking, very The Fallen. Again, kind of hints at who he's working for, let's just say. Looks really good. Looks really, really good. I like what I see. I mean, the Leader Class price point is going to be a tough one, especially with the new MSRP going into 2023. But I do like what I see. I think he looks really good. And we'll see what happens. No pre-orders yet up right now. No, nothing on Hasbro Pulse, just these early images that we've seen online. But he's going to be a wave one kind of thing with the Studio Series 2023 kind of stuff. He's going to be shipping in a case assortment with Optimus Primal. People are asking, do you mean they ship together? No, what I mean by that is it's a Leader Class case. Leader Class cases usually have one per figure in a case of two. So you get one Optimus Primal, one Scourge. That's how you're going to see it. So chances are, if we're seeing Scourge here today, we might be seeing Optimus Primal at some point in the near future. Who knows? Maybe even this week. So stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. It's the Wild West over there on the other side of the globe. Can't control anything anymore. So we'll see what happens. We will see. Now let's go into more Rise of the Beast stuff. Let's talk about designs that we got to see. Control art, stock art, and stuff like that. So there was an event that happened on the other side of the globe at the Tarouga Western Plains Zoo in Australia. So they had a event celebrating all the different animals they have there, and they had a crossover with Hasbro, kind of having like facts and funs and a little scavenger hunt for the kids where they could get all these clues and information, put stickers on their map. And at the end of it all, when they complete their map of beast stuff, they could go to the zoo shop at the top plaza to redeem your Beast Heroes sticker. I want me a Beast Hero sticker that I can wear right here next to Snake Eyes. But yeah, so they had an event, but what was cool about it was littered with control art of Rise of the Beast stuff. So some of this we're seeing for the very first time through this event. A lot of Cheetor. There's a lot of different Cheetor control art that really tells me I think Cheetor is going to be like a, the Bumblebee of this movie, if not the big focus in terms of marketing and sales. But again, it's Cheetor. It's to be expected. So, we got to look at Rhinox here too and Air Razor. But the one thing I do want to emphasize, and this has been a common thing with all the live action Transformers movies, is a lot of times this control art really isn't a 100% representation of how they will look in the movie. These are usually the final designs before they go to the animators, and then the animators refine those designs to work in CG and in motion. And like to give you an example here, we're going to pull up Cheetor, how he looks in the trailer, and kind of compare him next to how he looks in all this control art. And there's a little more fur, a little more free flowing fur that's going on the one that's in the trailer that's running alongside the off-road Bumblebee. So you're going to kind of have to compare it to that. This one's a little more sleek. Again, the one that's the toy representation there is the mainline one. The mainline one, I stand by it. The mainline stuff is kind of a different animal. It's kind of have a different look than that of the studio series. That way, you're not cannibalizing your market, where the mainline stuff's going to have one kind of specific aesthetic. The studio series will probably have that more screen accurate aesthetic, and you get two kinds of purchases in a lot of ways. I'm going to be drinking a lot today. I'm so thirsty. Um, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. We will see. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here, and more images are probably going to surface over the next couple of days because supposedly there's more art that hasn't been taken photography of. This is just some of them. And there was an Optimus. I didn't bother to show that one because I mean it's Optimus. We know how that looks. The Bumblebee too, we've seen already. So a lot of those seem like very, very common in terms of what we expect of those characters. But again, I just want to remind you guys that these are the final designs, but then those final designs are shown to the animators for the movie, and then those are refined for animation and motion, and you get that final look. And it's the same thing where you look at these are going to be used on like the art that we're seeing here. This is going to be used on mugs. This is going to be used on t-shirts. This is going to be used on box art. Like we're still going to see this art like crazy. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be all over the place. When it's going to be June of 2023, knee deep in this movie's debut, it is going to be all over Walmart in every section. You're going to go to the T-search section, there's going to be Rise of the Beast stuff. You're going to go into the food section, there's going to be Rise of the Beast on potato chips. You're going to go to the toy section, obviously you're going to see our boys there. You're going to go to the electronics section, there's going to be a Rise of the Beast video game. So we're going to see this art in a lot of different places. So just get ready for that. Let's just put it that way. But looks pretty cool though, and I love my Cheetor. So I'm very excited to see where this goes because there's a lot of really good stuff going on here. And that's it more or less for the Rise of the Beast stuff. We're just going to go through some sponsors. We do have a beautiful announcement if you haven't noticed a new video that has gone up on the other channel, but we'll get into that in a moment. First, let's do our sponsors because today I'm wearing Snake Eyes and the pin. This all comes from, of course, Symbiote Studios, our sponsor of our live stream today. As always, Symbiote Studio, the official Hasbro licensed Transformer plush pins and t-shirts. Accept no substitute, only the best. The long, ongoing, multi-year Transformer plush series, not just a flash in the pan like they did with Cards Carlton, not just like a one-shot that was done back in the day with Softimus Prime and Slumblebee. This is the real deal. This is the long, ongoing line with brand new designs upgraded for 2023 with show-accurate colors this time because these were all the ones that sold out. So Symbiote Studios brought them back, gave you a second run, and made them even better than before. And of course, More coming in the future of 2023. Stay tuned for that. They will debut for the very first time here on the Transformer Slag podcast. You will get that news first here. So if you're curious about the plush, Lord knows I get them all. Ugh, probably should move this way. There we go. There's they are. Oh, got Optimus in the way there too. Love that Optimus. But so you're gonna see more of that in the near future. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited about the future plushes that are going to be coming in 2023. But if you are interested, symbiotestudios.com. All the others are available right now. The ones that don't say sold out. Again, most of them got reissued, so you will get your opportunities to pick them up. Get your Seeker Jets, get your Hound, get your Grimlock, who's the best seller out of all of them. Amazingly, I went to TFCon in Toronto and I saw 4 different people that had the plushes, and 3 of them had Grimlock. So Grimlock's doing just fine. And again, if you want other plushes, you got GI Joe, you got My Little Pony, you got Power Rangers, you got a whole bunch of different pins from GI Joe, Power Rangers, and Magic the Gathering that now is a big part of Transformers' imprint and everything. Go join Magic the Gathering Transformer stuff. Go pick up some Brothers War, pick up some nice cards. And yeah, and of course what I'm wearing today, the Snake Eyes shirt and the Snake Eyes pin set. You could get the plush too. The plush is chilling back there with Timber. A lot of good stuff going on there. Check that out too. I love it all. Symbiote Studios is a great sponsor of this podcast. And thank you, Symbiote Studio, for sponsoring everything we do here. Awesome stuff. And sending cool clothes. I don't have to think about any clothes anymore. And of course, and the seats, which every single time is how we rock it here. And the seats. Uh, they're the ones that provide us our seating arrangements here at the podcast. So they're going to be debuting a whole bunch of new chairs in 2023, they told me, as well as new Transformer gaming leisure stuff. So pillows. Oh, we got a super chat from JG for $2 with no question. JG, no question, brother. Ask me a question, brother, or a comment, or say I smell or something. I don't know. Anyways, and the seats, again, they're going to be doing a whole bunch of new stuff in 2023. Right now, they still have their Bumblebee, their Optimus, and their Megatron, as well as their pillow series that comes with every chair. So no matter which chair you get a lower lumbar and a magnetic and a seats headrest. If you use promo code in the link below, you get 15% off your first order of these crazy chairs. They're very comfortable, and they're made for a big guy like me, so I feel right at home with the magnetic clasp, which I like to show every time just because it's so cool. Seamless. Look at that. You don't even know. And then bang, you just put it there. Pretty hype. Thank you, Anda Seats, also for sponsoring. And last but not least, um, I teased it last week and it's out this week. So me and Aaron Archer have put out the latest segment on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go on to Aaron's channel after we're done today and check out me and Aaron talking about Transformers Transtech. Everything you need to know from the people who worked on it. Transformers Transtech. We break it down. We make sense of why it didn't happen, what was going on. We post a whole bunch of images and all kinds of stuff behind the scene, the prototypes, making sense of stuff, the whole story. The whole story. Go check that out. There's Aaron Archer. He's in the chat right now. Aaron, you're on the Toy Armada account. You always jump back and forth. It's hard to keep track of you. So that one's up right now. So be sure to check that one out. Really good stuff. Aaron also did a live stream yesterday talking about the 100th Kenner Batman. I had that as a kid. I remember seeing that in Zellers back in the day with that big batarang hanging off of him in his chrome. So go check out his live stream afterwards too if you want some more content. Or if you just want to hear my dumb voice, again, just listen to the Transtech one. But if you want some Batman also, Aaron also did a live stream yesterday. That'll be in the live tab of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer channel. Go check that out. If you're not following that channel and subbing and all of that, and you like my content, what are you doing? Like go over there too. Get that stuff also. You get more Proto Man. You get Aaron Archer, who's a very talented individual who helmed the Transformer brand for all those years. All those years. Armada, Alternators, Energon, Universe, Cybertron. Okay, maybe not the Japanese stuff. A little bit of that. You know, got some animated, got some titaniums. Well, that's a Don Figueroa thing, but Aaron probably had his fists in that too. So, check that out, yo. Check it all out. We're gonna have more from that channel in the near future. Gonna make some time to do all the goodness as it shouldness.
No matter the cost.
Andy Davis said, Toy Armada is the shiz, ready for car robots. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we will do a car robots. Maybe we will, because there is a lot of a story to tell there, because it is the transitionary period. Car robots was the leaving of the era of Western made storytelling, which, it was Canadian Western made. Beast Wars, Beast Machines, Canadian Western made storytelling, and then going into the era of the Japanese made storytelling of car robots, aka Robots in Disguise 2001, and then going into Armada, Micron Legend, Energon, Superlink, and Cybertron Galaxy Force. And of course, all the stuff that happened in between that too, like Robot Masters and stuff like that. So entering that era for a good, I want to say 6 years, 7 years almost before we entered the movie verse, and then kind of shifted back to the Western world and kind of never went back since. Which I kind of wish we went back to. I like it when we bounce around. We had G1 for a bit in the Western world, then Japan took it for a bit for the Takara stuff with Victory and Master Force and Headmasters and Zone. Then it went to Canada for a bit, and now we're back in the West. Maybe when Earth Spark is done, maybe give it to the Japanese for a bit. I'd like to see, keep it fresh. You got to move it around. Got to move it around. And then when it's with the Japanese for 4 years, then people will clamoring to have it back in the West. To quote the great wrestler Dusty Rhodes, you can't miss me if I'm not gone. And that's why I always feel you got to mix it up. You got to move it around a bit. Even if it's your favorite meal, if you ate it every day, you're going to get bored of it sooner or later. So you got to mix it up sometimes. And I think that would be really cool. But yeah, maybe we'll do a car robots in disguise 2001 in the future. In the future. What is Aaron saying there? Has Tommy made any TF content? Not official, like fiction. The closest we got was that Transformers Go sub series. It was a small series that they did as a thing to Transformers Prime, and then they did that they did a few like short flash animation stuff. They did the Transformers what was it called there? The Waza no Convoy stuff that they did. So they did those little figures and stuff, the Maya clone kind of things. Those were short little animations that were never translated. And I think that's it in terms of Japanese content, like original Japanese content. So pretty cool stuff. JG, new to my channel. Well, thank you for the donation, JG. And I hope you enjoy all the craziness that we do here on the Transformers Slag podcast. We choose to educate, entertain, and inform you on the robots in disguise. And you came to the right place, brother. Let me tell you. I don't want to sound arrogant, but you're going to enjoy your stay because we're going to give you something that no other channel will give you in terms of content. So anyways, but yeah, we're definitely think of do something like that with car robots. There's a lot of stuff, like to be honest, like I would love to see Aaron do some of the other stuff with some of the other bring some other designers in that worked on other brands and sit down and talk with them, because there's probably a lot of really good stories yet. There probably is a lot of good stories that could be told. Especially like, he knows guys who worked on Beyblade. There's a whole generation of kids, 2000s kids that grew up on Beyblade. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of great stories with the localization of that. Aaron worked on some Pokemon stuff in a small capacity. So there's so many stories to be told, not just Transformers, but just toys in general. We're all fans of Transformers. You wouldn't be listening to my voice if you weren't a fan of Transformers. But we're also fans of other properties in that bubble of that era. So it'd be really cool to see a lot of those other stories told, because it gives you a bigger picture of those conversations. Look, if the success of Pokemon didn't happen, we probably wouldn't have the storytelling aspects of Transformers Armada. So we're all symbiotic in a lot of ways in that kind of stuff. But speaking of Aaron Archer, I forgot to even plug this. Aaron Archer also has his art book that's available on archermonster.com/shop. It's The Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 1, Black and White Edition. Again, if you want to get some original Transformer art from the guy who created those characters from the Unicron trilogy and beyond, again, archermonster.com/shop. For $20, you get 32 pages of original art from Mr. Archer himself. And for an extra $15, he'll sketch whatever you want inside the book too. Isn't that awesome? For 20 bucks, you get all that original art, and you can tell him, hey, Mr. Archer, I really like Tidal Wave. Could you draw me a Tidal Wave on the inside? And he'll do that for you. Send it in the mail. Enjoy it. Really cool book. A lot of people I know in the chat came by TFCon and picked one up, got it signed. Good stuff. If you didn't get to TFCon, now's your opportunity. Check it out, archermonster.com/shop. Tom Laney wants to know if a color edition is coming. You'll probably have to ask Mr. Archer that because Proto Man could only draw Proto Man. So that's all I could really draw. But we'll see what happens with that in the future. Talk to Mr. Archer about that. I'm pretty sure we could work stuff. I can maybe give you, he could draw you a big painting or something. He does those too. Really good watercolor, traditional art, good stuff. But that's it more or less for the sponsorships, for the news. We're gonna open up a brand new product. So Toy Armada with Aaron Archer says, yep, the next edition will be in color. Well, there you go. Breaking news. There will be a color edition. Now, Aaron, if I remember correctly, is not going to be at TFCon LA, correct? So probably the next one will be TFCon Toronto in July. I believe Colin put it at July. So TFCon Toronto in July will probably be Aaron's next show. So if you do want to pick it up in person, it'll probably be July of 2023. So you have plenty of time to save your pesos or whatever us Canadians use as currency anymore. I think we use poutine as currency now today. It changes every day. Sometimes we use poutine, sometimes we use bagels. You know, it changes. We're crazy over here. Nope, not going to OA. We'll be at Toronto. There you go. There you go. Perfecto. So we're gonna open up a product. So last week we opened up the Super 7 collection of figures. Oh, we got some super chats rolling in. Let's just get to these quickly. Mr. Bumblebot wants to know, Hope Legacy Armada Prime looks like his super mode VR. Well, let's hope for that one. I mean, the animated stuff is if Prowl is any indication, it's kind of a mixture of the two, I would have to say, but still keep some of those Derek Wyatt isms in there, the long chin and everything. Princeton Phalanx 59 with the super chat for 5 bones. How you doing, Princeton Phalanx 59? Mark and Evan did an interview with Toys R Us YouTube channel. It was good. Everyone should watch it. I will actually check it out because I want to see if there was any new content that was talked about there. If it was just a casual chat or if there was actually some new tidbits that were mentioned. Sometimes we don't know what's public anymore and you have to kind of read between the lines. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, Princeton Phalanx 59. So, what we got here is this was last week. We talked about the Super 7 Bonsai-tron, and these were all on sale. These were originally, I believe, $55.99, and excuse me, 55. I think they were 55 even, and then they went on absolute bonkers clearance. The whole wave of these for $15, and you know what I always say. It's always good not to pay full price. So I picked up the whole wave. And so this whole next couple of live streams, we're going to be opening one at a time and just enjoying the experience for the first time. So today we're going to be talking Bombshell. Now, Bombshell is based off of his Action Master version, which was a rare UK version. Here he is over here, the little Action Master one. So it also give you an idea of scale, how big these things are. Action Masters are about G.I. Joe scale, 3 1/4, you know, so they actually have an O-ring too, like G.I. Joe. So we're going to be cracking these open too. And while we're doing that, if you want to ask any super chat questions, again, just hit that super chat button down there. And we will gladly answer some questions. And if you're a YouTube member, which are those green names there, well, just fire away, shall we? Let's see. Lord Soundwarp says a bit of news from the UK yesterday. Game had a Creatures Collide previously unavailable here show up. Yeah, I saw that. Someone was posting that it went on crazy clearance. The Creatures Collide one. I probably should have posted that in my sales thread, but I don't have many people from the UK who are patrons, so I didn't know if they would care about that. I usually do for Australia, for Mexico, for Canada, and the USA, obviously, but yeah, it went on crazy clearance. You know what that Creature Collide said? I think also even in America went on clearance at one point. So That's a little concerning for Target. Let me put it that way. It's a little concerning, because it's a really nice 4-pack with a lot of cool, unique stuff. But looks like it didn't sell as well as they had hoped, but they already ate the cost on that. So here we go. Nice, beautiful box. You got to give Super 7 credit. They might be pricey, but they know how to package a Transformer that makes it look like a premium item. Isn't that cool? And again, a nice slip cover there. Look at that. Big reveal. Bam. There he is. And it's glossy goodness. Looking nice. Look at that. So we're going to crack him open. And so again, you have like this, and then the back there, and then it has Bombshell with the nice hyper gloss. And then you got, again, to really hammer home the Action Master kind of look. It has a very Action Master looking kind of late G1 tech spec design on the back. And even the way the Transformers logo is there, it's the Transformers Action Masters. So the guys at Super 7, got to give them credit. They are fans. They are fans. You could say what you will about prices, you could say what you will about design, but I will always respect passion if it is there. It's better than when it's phoned in. And another thing too, I just want to point out also, like even the inside of the box is like super glossy. Look at that. They put like, oh my god, that smell of glue. Woo! Gonna get Proto Man high like a kite. Fresh glue. Woo! Fresh glue. What do we got here? Any news on the Hound or new Target 4-pack? Nothing yet. The Hound, we still don't have an official announcement yet. We do have the listing for the Hound with another retro. We talked about it last week, I think, for a hot second. We don't know what the other retro is. I'm going to guess it's probably a Decepticon. We don't have any official announcement of it yet. I mean, I think we're still just receiving the Starscream and the Hot Rod, so at some point we're probably going to learn about it. Lord Soundwarp, I should really become Appertron, a patron for the Discord, just so I can be sure to get news out quicker. Well, the Discord is for a lot of things. Number one, and I always tell people this: if you join the Patreon, I'm telling you, you're going to make your money back just in the sales section. That's what I always say. If you're paying $5 a month, you get that money back easily, because the sales section, like, I mean, I just posted, what did I post, like a sale yesterday? Like, what we do is we keep you up to date every single week with all the sales that are happening in all the retail chains. I have like 4 guys. Shout out to Jason, shout out to Louie and Mikey, shout out to um, what do you call them? Steffi X. There's certain people that they're always, they're on the ground floor, like, hey, Proto, at Ross today, all deluxes are $7.99, so, and there's photos, images. We keep you guys up to date with all the sales. So trust me, if you paid $5 for the month, you're definitely saving 15 to 20 to 40 to sometimes even more dollars, because we're keeping you up to date on those sales before they get public. And then the scalpers come and eat them all up, and then it's not a good feel for anybody. Let me tell you. So Patreon is probably, like I say, the join button down there is for the green names. If your thing is more being part of the streams and doing the contests and stuff like that, and being part of the chat here, then yeah, the join to do the YouTube membership is more your thing. I have people that are YouTube members and part of the Patreon, which I really appreciate people who do that, but that's, they cover both their bases. The Discord is a Patreon thing. There's different things that are available there. I like to give people options because, not, some people don't like to like have one or the other, or they don't like Patreon, or they don't like YouTube. I like to give people options just to make everyone better, everyone happy. Where's the cutter? I think I didn't bring the cutter, did I? Oh, there it is. There it is. I was worried I didn't bring it. Upstairs, I was packaging a package yesterday. We have a super chat also. We got a lot today here. Mayoral Fabrication for the $5 super chat. I am at the workshop working in a prototype for an unofficial exclusive item for TFCon Los Angeles. See you there. Thanks for keeping us informed. Oh, that sounds cool. I'm actually working on a prototype too that hopefully, if I make it to TFCon LA, will debut at TFCon LA. It's still kind of 50-50 right now. If I'm going to TFCon LA, I'm having a bit of an issue with getting a hotel room. So if anyone has a easy hotel situation, probably give me a contact. Um, the people we were going to room with kind of bailed, unfortunately, and it's making things a little more complicated than usual. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a great location, TFCon, but it's also probably a very expensive hotel. It's not BotCon 2010 expensive hotel, but it's definitely up there. Let me tell you, it's definitely up there. Uh, let's see here. Thank you for the super chat though, and I'm looking forward to seeing what your exclusive is. It's pretty cool. It's probably gonna be something really awesome. I hope people like the exclusive I'm working on, which you'll see in the near future. Sarah wants to know, hello there, Proto Man. Hey, Joe, Hasbro, where is my Tiger Hawk? I'm pretty sure Tiger Hawk's going to come at some point. I'm pretty sure. They just need to get that trademark off the ground, and we will have another one. If anything, you know what? If they don't want to have to do another Tigatron, like, toy, but they have that Tigatron trademark, so they got to do something with it. They could just do like they could call like powered Tigatron trademark or something. Let's get out his accessories. There we go. First we have his, oh, this one's articulated. The other one wasn't articulated. So this is his Action Master buddy. Little stag beetle. Quagger stag beetle. But this one's, it has like an articulated head. That's pretty cool. The one that came with, let me just grab it here. The one that came with Bonsaitron didn't have articulation. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Where are we at? Where are we at? Are we doing a giveaway for the stream? No, we're not doing any giveaways in the near future. We did about $600 in giveaways all of the month of November and December. We gave away a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing giveaways probably later this year, but not right now. We can't give away stuff every time. We're going to go broke otherwise, just in the shipping alone that we're eating, let alone the product, especially when we ship stuff to countries around the world. We had some winners in the Philippines. We had some winners in the UK, and let me tell you, the shipping was more expensive than the items. Let me tell you, but we will do in the near future, but not anytime soon. We can't make it all about giveaways. That's just we'll do more in the future though, for sure. Let's see. Fine, we got an override now. Waiting for a Trax repaint. A Trax repaint from override. Let's see. Lord Salmer, by the way, In Demand Toys has Masterpiece Blackout. Masterpiece Blackout right now, I believe, is Target has it on clearance right now for really cheap too. So I forget. I think it's like $50. Like it's like down like 70% from its MSRP. So that's another one too that's really cheap, which you would have learned a week and a half ago if you were part of the Patreon. Lord CW, excuse me, Link CW. Proto, is it a hot rod figure when a Proto Man head? Is it a hot rod figure with a Proto Man head from Mega Man for your figure? I don't understand what you're referring to for my figure. Is it a hot rod figure with a Proto Man head from Mega Man for your figure? Oh, you're talking about my exclusive? No, 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 no. No, my exclusive is something that'll be very topical for the for the summer seasons. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to give away anything. I like to surprise people, but you'll see. It's something that'll be well received, and once again, it's something that I'm going to give away to free for all my patrons. They just have to pay shipping. That's it. Just like I did last year. Last year when I did the exclusive, all my patrons who were patrons for 2 months or more, if they paid shipping, I sent you the exclusive for free. Free, free. You just got to pay shipping. That's it. Depending on where you live, of course, because obviously it's going to be more expensive for others. I think last year it was like $10 average was the shipping for most people in continental USA. Sorry if I'm struggling here. Super 7 really locks it down. Really locks it down. Hearing Proto talk about tacos made me hungry. Ordered some from Tim Hortons for breakfast. Tim Hortons has tacos? Tim Hortons is such a Canadian thing, and I didn't even know Tim Hortons has tacos. All right, we got him free. Jeez, he really looks like the Action Master, I'll tell you that much. Goodness gracious. Let me look side by side here. My goodness, it's almost like they just blew up the Action Master. goodness. Hold on, I want to do a hands-free one here. That way my hands aren't in the way. Actually, where is... Grapple has a really good weapon for a 3mm peg. There we go. See? Do a hands-free one, that way you could see everything. Look at that. It's like they blew up the Action Master. That's all they did. And obviously give it articulation. He's also a little flat. Is it me or is he a little flat? I don't know. I mean, the Bonsai-tron I really digged. I really dig the Bonsai-tron, but, again, he was an Action Master originally, so getting like a masterpiece version in a sense, because that's how I kind of look at it. So articulation is here. Oh, he doesn't have articulation at the... Oh, no! He does... There's like barely... Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right, well, at least this goes on the back at least. Okay, so you could kind of do that. And here's his weapons. He's got his traditional gun that he came with his original toy, the gun that came with the Action Master, and interchangeable hands. Obviously, hands to hold the gun, open hands, closed hands, and the fists are there. I don't know about this one. This one was, like even the Bonsai-tron. I mean, I probably should have took out the original Action Master. The Bonsai-tron wasn't like 100% a blow up of the Action Master. They still kind of gave it some new detail and shaping. And I mean, I love that, like, ninja fist there. Woo, So really dig that. But this one, I don't know. I don't know about this one. Yeah, this one is definitely $15. This one is definitely $15. Maybe some people dodged a bullet by just seeing this. Link CW says, well, YouTube membership different from Patreon? Yeah, Patreon gives you access to the Discord, and the Discord has a whole bunch of stuff on there. YouTube membership gives you the ability to be shout out and talked here on the live stream by being a green name. You get the little icons next to your name and stuff. Puts you in the giveaways. Patreon puts you in the giveaways too, but it also puts you on the giveaways here. So everything's different. It's different. I did that because some people don't like Patreon. Some people prefer YouTube membership. So I gave people options and different things that are offered with different things. It's also a million times easier to contact me through Patreon. YouTube membership for some reason doesn't have a direct message system. I wish it did. That way you guys could contact me and stuff. I wish they had that. Old YouTube used to have a direct message system. I don't know why they got rid of that. Maybe to, I don't know, protect their content creators or something. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I do not know. I don't think this one's worth the 15. This one, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling this one. Not feeling this one. Yeah, like it's like this one here. It's like a frozen joint practically. And this one here too. It's like that's it. And of course, 5 points of articulation, but of course he does have here the elbow, and of course because it's an interchangeable hand, does rotate, and then the knee, and then he has an ab. So I mean, the articulation is there. Like, I mean, if you've ever messed with their Ninja Turtle stuff, and I have a few of their turtle stuff is good. I think their turtle stuff is really good. I think their turtle stuff is better than what NECA's doing, in all honesty. But this one, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know about this one. Again, it's all about what you pay. And I've always felt that every toy has a redeeming factor to it if the price is right. If you give me a core class and you sell it to me for $50, I'm going to be like, no, but if you give me a core class for like its MSRP, 10, 11, $12 or cheaper, then I'll be like, yeah, it's great for that price. Like, where's my boy? My boy's chilling over here. Like Little Hot Rod here, core class. If you told me, yeah, Proto Man, this is MSRP, $19.99, $20.99. No, it isn't. But if it's a little core class here, then yeah, everything has its entry point that makes sense. And I understand, because again, when you look at Super 7 and the stuff they do, it's very premium. Like this box alone is probably like $15 of its value. It's very nicely packaged. The outer box too. Like it's like, oh, it's this nice like shipping box and everything. And I appreciate them making it a feeling of a premium item. But at the same time, sometimes Icarus flies too close to the sun and their wings get burned off. And it's one of these cases where it's like, as a hardcore fan, I appreciate it, but even me going like, would I want to pay $55 for pretty much a blown up Action Master with more articulation and no O-ring in it, and extra weapons? You'd have to really like Bombshell. You'd have to really like Action Masters from the UK era. And even then, it's like, I mean, look at that. It's like, oh, hey. And then it's like, whoa, ooh, that's a pancake. Look how thin that is. So it's very interesting. I would love to sit down with the designers of Super 7 and kind of like ask them what were the limitations. I mean, a lot of the crotches on these are that use like a soft kind of vinyl. And same thing with the head sculpt. The head sculpt kind of uses like a soft kind of vinyl. It's very like Ninja Turtles back in the day. If anyone remembers the first year of the 1987 Ninja Turtle toys, they had kind of like a soft vinyl going on. So they're very fascinating from a business standpoint, from an assembly standpoint, but from a success to market and its reception, I worry because they still got another like 4 waves planned ahead. And wave 1 already kind of fell face first in the dirt. And I mean, next week and the week after that, we're going to be covering the other ones that I got for 15 each. And I hope the other ones are good too, because we have a Ghost of Starscream and we have an Optimus Prime. I think I'm going to end it with the Optimus because that'll be probably the nicest one, I hope. Although, I mean, I really like the Bonsai-tron. Don't get me wrong. But we will see. The one thing I was surprised, at least this is articulated. At least they put some like a ball jointed neck sculpt on this little Action Master buddy, which I guess maybe because you put it on his back and then it goes like this, or it could be a weapon too that he holds. I don't have the proper hand in right now, but we will see. We will see. Sarah says for today for breakfast I had fried eggs, Viacon, fried eggs Viacon, and fried black beans with a croissant and black coffee for dinner, beef tacos and fried plantains with cheese and sour cream. Someone is eating heavy today. Jeez. JR Mina, hey Proto, have you seen the mega trailer for Voltage V Legacy? No, I have not, but I heard about it. I do want to see that though. You know what I actually just rewatched just recently for like the first time in like maybe like a decade? I sat down, I was sitting around and I'm like, you know what? I haven't watched Gunbuster in forever. And Gunbuster has always been like one of those like very important mecha animes to me because there's just, the soundtrack, the storytelling, it's a short run series, it's 6 half-hour episodes, so they're really jam packed with a lot of good stuff in there. The 90s fan service, which I eat up because I'm a pervert, all kinds of great stuff going on there. And I just watched it for like the first time in like more than a decade, and it still holds up. It's amazing how beautiful that is. And some of Anno's best work, man. And it would go on to influence like literally everything afterwards, like Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, all the fan service stuff in the 2000s in terms of anime. Gynex, man, the Gynex bounce came from it. Anyone who hasn't seen Gunbuster, the original Gunbuster, not Die Buster, Gunbuster. It sometimes goes under the name Aim for the Top. That's sometimes the direct translation name from Japan. Go out of your way to watch it. Very important piece of mecha and robot history and design, and also just animation. It was the directorial debut of the guy who made Eva and everything. And while I'm not the biggest fan of Evangelion, I'm a fan of Anno and his work and some of the other stuff he does. And there's a lot of good stuff that he does. And Gunbuster is definitely one of them. Definitely one of them. Sarah says, any news on leaks about more comic-inspired Japanese beasts for Legacy besides Voyager, Silverbolt, and Leader Tigatron? Nothing yet. Nothing yet has leaked out yet. But like I said, this week coming up, hold on to your balls. Let's put it that way. Let's put it this way. The Chinese message boards have been very busy, and I'm never going to be the one that wants to break that news. I respect the designers at Hasbro way too much to do that, but someone's going to. Someone's going to at some point. So It's going to happen. Stay tuned. Let's put it that way. Mr. Bumblebot, so Proto, what's your opinion on remolding Legacy Override into animated tracks? Do you think Hasbro would do it? Well, they got to do something with that Override mold. I mean, I think first you could do the obvious one, the black repaint of Override, aka Nitro Convoy, was Shattered Glass Elita 1. So that's a little fun fact that people aren't aware. Shattered Glass Elita 1 was a black repaint. Override GTS, as it was called in Cybertron. Barely show you it. Oh, the cameras, the microphone's covering it. It's right there, but anyways. All my Cybertrons. I like to call this the Aaron Archer wall. It's kind of ironic. It's all Aaron stuff is like facing me right here. Um, but yeah, so like that's one repaint right away built in. You don't have to resculpt it. Just if you want to like give her a more evil smile or something, but just give it the same head sculpt. And I believe the head on Override is 2 pieces, so you could just swap out that one piece. And they could do that one. Then afterwards, yeah, you could do. Look, there's so many ideas. You know, those guys are so clever over there. And the fact that they do these heavy partials now of a lot of the molds, there's stuff that we don't even think of that they do now. So there's stuff that's probably baked in that isn't even cross our mind. I mean, look, like, you know, we got this guy out of our Kingdom Cheetor, you know. They didn't do a Transmetal one and then do, you know, Ravage out of it. So they're able to pull stuff out of their hat, and I'm very impressed by it. So keep it up, boys. Keep it up. Keep it up. And shout out to what's his name from marketing, not Ben. One of the new PR guys contacted me recently. We're going to be working on some stuff in the future, so stay tuned for that. I'll talk about that with later on with them. Let's see where we at. Where we at here? Oh, here T-Formers 2002 with the super chat. How you doing, T-Formers 2002? Good evening, Proto. I know it would never do it, but if Super 7 gave us an Omega Supreme, I would easily buy that, throw in armor if possible. You know what? I would honestly say don't say never, because Super 7 has their Super Shogun price point, which they've already done Transformers with, and their Super Shogun price point is like the larger ones. Because you have Reaction, which is their 3 1/4. Then you got in this case the Ultimates, which are like the 7 to 8 inch depending on character. And then you have their Super Shoguns, which are like sometimes 12 to 14 inches to even higher, like the Shogun Warriors, which are, Aaron, how big are the Shogun Warriors? Like 21 inches? Those things are huge. You know, I have a Daimos upstairs, but I never measured it. Measuring other things here in the podcast, you know. But anyways, but the point is that you know, they have that Super Shogun price point, so I'm pretty sure if they wanted to, they could do the big city block kind of stuff, Omega, Metroplex, Triptychon. So never say never with that. They did Optimus Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee, and I believe Soundwave. Did they do Soundwave also? I think they did Soundwave also. None of them really appealed to me, because what would I want, you know, a huge Optimus Prime for? I mean, they did that Rescue Bots one that was like huge. I bought that at a garage sale, and I can't reach it. It's all the way over there. I'm just gonna go reach it, but yeah, I'm just happy with that. But yeah, I think it's possible. T-Formers 2002. It's just a matter of time more than anything else. They have that license, I believe, for 2 more years. Don't quote me on it, but I think they have it for 2 more years. I deal with a lot of the licensee guys like Mr. Over here and everything. So I think they got it for 2 more years, Super 7, and they're probably going to milk it as much as they can. Of course they can. As flat as they can. Sarah says about the Chinese message boards is going to be some kind of purple dino wink wink. I'm not saying nothing. I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing. I respect Evan, Mark, and of course, Sam and Ben of marketing. You got to respect those dudes. Those dudes work hard. Let me tell you something. Those guys worked during the holidays. I was talking back and forth with Ben a lot during the holidays. It was a mess for them. They got snowed in. There was terrible weather there in Rhode Island. they were working really hard. And even Blake in Wizards of the Coast, all those guys were working so hard. You could argue all the stuff that's going on with the stock and everything. That's fine and dandy, but I really respect the people who work for that company. Those guys do a lot of great work, and I wish them the best, man. And every time they do good work, like I don't want to be the one that spoils everything. When the genie's out of the bottle, when someone has spoiled it and it's on the front page of every website and everything, that's a different story. You'll never see Proto Man be the first guy to spoil that stuff. That's not my business, But I respect them too much to break that kind of news, and that I leave that to them when the time comes, unless someone else does it. And we'll probably have a Transformer Tuesday or Fan First Friday maybe this month. So we'll see what happens. Where are we at? Where are we at here? Oh, he said Omega Supreme. The UK Action Master Elite. Well, you can't make the chicken without the egg. So you have to have an Omega Supreme before you do an Omega Supreme. If they start with Omega Supreme, I will give them props. And I know a certain internet personality that if he doesn't buy it, I'll be very disappointed. Let's put it that way. Because that was like one of his favorite characters for the longest time. The Milk Daddy. That's some Transformers 2010 humor. Shockwave 75 with the $5 super chat. I have Kingdom Ravage and love it, but I kind of wish they used the Tigatron mold instead of Cheetor, so he would have been bigger. I agree. Especially considering you would have actually let's give two off-color examples here. So if you would have taken Kingdom Megatron, which I have T-Rex over here, and then let's say this was the Ravage, that would have been the right size. You know that scene there where Ravage lets him free from the chamber and they kind of go, so let's talk, Yeah, I do agree the size would have been better between and this is a fantastic mold. Anyone that could get their hands on it. And yes, I understand people are talking about how it's yellowing. I don't know what they're talking about. Again, climate controlled room, live in Canada. It's cold like 70% of the year. So maybe I'm lucky. But yeah, I am seeing a lot of yellowed Tigatrons, so it does suck. But if you could still get that mold, I mean, outside of buying that Masterpiece, which unfortunately the Masterpiece has its own issues from scratching and stuff like that, it's probably the best way to own a Tigatron character. And it was on sale at one time. Probably not anymore. That allocation is long gone, but we will see. We will see. Tom Laney says, laugh out loud. Horned Owl says, excerpt from the OGL debacle. You need to update me on that. I must be missing something. Sometimes I'm not paying attention to everything. Our Airy Nuts with the $2 super chat should be Harry Nuts. Giggity. Hopes for the next accessory pack. I would like an accessory pack that gives the weapons to, mind you, now it's going to be kind of pointless, but I used to want an accessory pack that kind of gave all the weapons to the beast characters that didn't get their weapons. So like, little sticky bombs for Rat Trap, the gut gun for Cheetor and stuff like that. But now with the Rise of the Beast Cheetor coming, it's kind of going to fill that void anyways. It's going to include those accessories. At this point, I think the only stuff I would want in those accessory pack is more of those little mini slug figures. Grab some of them. Yeah. You can barely see them, but there's Rodimus and look at them, they're falling. Rodimus and Galvatron chilling at the bottom there. There they are. Behind the recycled sign. I keep them in the bag because a gust of wind is going to come by and I'm never going to see them again. I don't know how anyone has those on display without losing them. Where's my see that one too is I'm always worried about that one. I have a little mini Croc Megatron from the Microverse pack. I have an extra one that I got from a friend. I keep it on my desktop and I always worry about one day that one's going to disappear too. It's somewhere buried back there on my desktop on top of my tower of my weird stuff. But yeah, Bumblebot knows what I'm talking about. There you go. Sarah says, for the reason I like so much the design is the Decepticons in Prime because they look like the Avas from Evangelion. Well, Ava from Evangelion in general was probably one of the more unique mecha designs back in the 90s, and that's probably what gave it such a huge appeal. Aside from the fact that there was a lot of waifus in it, that also quite helped a lot. And in the long run, I feel Ava's more remembered for the waifus than it is for the robots. But I will give Ava credit. Ava had amazing music, which all of Anno's stuff always has amazing music. Amazing robot designs, very unique kind of robot designs, unique premise for the robots. You know, the power plugs, the story, which I don't want to spoil, even though it's a 25-year-old anime. There's still a lot of twists and turns and spoilers, so I don't want to spoil for anyone who hasn't watched Ava. Although you should go watch Gunbuster first, because I still feel that's superior. Go watch Gunbuster, go watch Gal Geiger, go watch Brave Stuff. Ava, it's more lower on the list in my opinion. It's still good, but you know, there's still a lot better in my opinion. But there was a lot of cool stuff with it. I love the designs. I think the Ava designs are fantastic. It was a very breath of fresh air considering what a lot of super robot stuff was doing at the time, very Japanese inspired. And then here comes something like Ava that had a much more organic kind of look, spoilery actually when you really think about it, but you know, organic kind of look, langy, you know, and then you would see that in Rastafon, which is another obscure kind of mecha anime that would come afterwards that kind of had the same kind of vibe as Ava. Even Vision of Escaflowne, you know, that one too kind of, you know, pulled a little bit more from that Evangelion Aura Battler. I know I'm throwing out all these names, but I'm a big robot mecha guy. So I like watched everything. If it's like an 80s or 90s mecha anime, I've seen it. I've seen it all. You know, even like the weird stuff, you know, let's go with, no, see, those are not weird, but, you know, Dorvak's not considered. Zungabungle, you know, uh, Galavan, um, what's another good one? A really obscure one. What's another really good obscure one? Well, Machine Robo, but everyone knows Machine Robo. I hope people know Machine Robo. Uh, where's Tom Laney? So when the TF Arm when is the Armada anniversary this year or next year? And why not Tidal Wave Titan instead of the rumored Nemesis? Well, technically, Armada's anniversary in America was 2022. Armada's anniversary in Japan is 2023. So what the anniversary product is getting Armada Optimus Prime as our commander class, which is pretty obvious. I wouldn't call Pat Labor a obscure one. Pat Labor is 90s delicious amazingness. Absolutely amazing Pat Labor. Love it. I have like so many model kits from that. That's like GMs if they were police officers from Gundam. Always love them. Transistor Messenger. But yeah. Um that's like the grandfather of them all. Tobase teken roketo panchi. Ima no dasoda buresto fire. Mazingo, Mazingo, Mazinga Z. Sarah says Asuka is the best waifu ever, and she could speak German like a YouTube like YouTube demonetized. You know what? I liked Asuka, but I'll never forget some fan said it the best. They said if you took all the genders in Ava and you swap them, like if Shinji was a guy, excuse me, was a girl, and Asuka was a dude, and Rei was a dude, all of a sudden the show sounds so much better. Like Asuka would be like that fiery, hot-blooded pilot, and Rei would have been like that good-looking bishojo, you know, like guy character that you would see like in Fushuji Yuji or something, like Daruro Dasune, you know, like he would have been like that character for Rei, and then Shinji would have just been Noriko from Gunbuster, you know? So I think if all the genders were swapped, I think the series would have been a lot better. And when someone told me that, I thought about it and I'm like, you know what, you're right. You're right. It would have been a lot better. But then it just became waifu fest. And then they introduced Mari later when they did the new Ava stuff because they needed to create a new waifu. And then if you create a new waifu, then there's tons of merchandise to sell. I mean, look. Okay, I got waifu stuff. That's from what's it called there, Gyro Zetter. I got the waifu characters from that because I buy everything. It's actually for completist reasons. That's why I have her figure because I have all the Gyro Zetter figures here because I love that series. That's another great mecha series, but that's like 2000, 2005. So Gyro Zetter, funny story with that. That came out the same year as Transformers Prime in Japan, and it destroyed Transformer Prime in the ratings. I mean, obviously they all got destroyed by Crayon Shin-chan, which was happening at the same time on a different channel. But Gyro Zetter destroyed Transformers Prime, and it was such a good series. It was a transforming robot series. It had waifus, it had transforming robots, collectible trading cards. I love it. Love it. Great series and good music. Music is very important to anime. If you don't have a good soundtrack, you're going to only catch half of my attention, in my opinion. If you have a crappy soundtrack, I'm going to be like, I got to get into this. Need that good music. And I don't have like one taste of music. You know, it could be like Cowboy Bebop with some good jazz. It could be something like Trigun, which is heavy metal rock. It could be, you know, again, all that 80s anime is super synth city pop kind of soundtrack. Everything it finds its place, and as long as it works well. Oh my God, Samurai Champloo, all that hip hop mixed with Japanese anime in a samurai style. Such good stuff. Woo, woo, such good stuff. Such good stuff. You could tell that I go to anime conventions, can't you? Go to them all the time. Go to them all the time. When you love giant robots, it's just part of the culture. It really is. We got half an hour left. How how fast did the time pass? Holy moly. Holy moly. Holy moly. Time is passing quick. So get your super chats in. Jeez. Get your super chats in. What is going on? Time is passing quick. Time is passing quick. Battle Hackers theme. That one is the rap one. Battle Hackers. Oi, what? Drill Buster. Battle Hackers. What? How did it go? Drill Punch. Mach Blaster. Go, 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 go. Ore wata sharidora. Crazy Japanese 80s rap battle hackers. Proto watch Line in the Barrel Iron. Yes, I've already watched it. Already watched it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm very picky with modern mecha. Like now when we get modern mecha, I'm very much about what have you done that's different this time around? Because I know a lot and people are not going to agree with me, but I didn't really think Gurren Lagann was all that great. I mean, sorry if I'm making a lot of noise. Ugh, trying to put this figure back. Yes, I actually know the song. I'm a sick man. I am a sick man. Oh, there goes the head. There goes the head. Popped right off. Quality. Um, that's probably just fine. Oh, there you go. Pops right back in. Okay. Um, what was I saying? I'm very picky with a lot of mecha anime today because I like it when they do something unique. When they do something that hasn't been done before. Um, JR Mina, don't forget Macross. Macross, Do You Remember Love is one of my top 3 favorite animated movies of all time. All time. All time. Xiao Fi Yo. Love it. Yumera. Ming Mei and everything, man. I love Do You Remember Love. That one made in 1986, and if it came out today, blows away any piece of animation that comes out today. That's how beautiful it is. Oh, love you. I love Do You Remember Love. One of my ex-girlfriends, I remember I sat her down. She was like, you know, oh, what are these anime that you like? Which are your favorite? And I made her sit down and watch Do You Remember Love? And she was blown away by it. She's like, when did this come out? I'm like, 1986. She's like, what? I'm like, damn right. Damn right. Some good stuff. Some good stuff. Megas XLR was fantastic, but Megas XLR was a love letter from Gaijins talking about giant robots. And that theme song was our theme song, you know? We dig giant robots, chicks dig giant robots. Nice. That's how it is. Where we at? Where we at? I'm sorry if I'm missing anything. Just repeat yourselves. Apologize. Everything's flying by. Everything's flying by. Horned Owl, my favorite giant mecha will always be from BattleTech Mech Warriors line. That's a very good series, very underrated American mecha stuff, especially the modern designs, but the classic Mad 3R Marauder. Well, the Marauder is always the one that everyone likes. That's like the classic. That's the classic Mech Warrior, especially if you played the games back in the day, the '90s PC games. You know, I had so many of those toys. I bought a guy's collection back in. Well, I wish Ian was here in the chat. He'd be able to remind me better. God, what year was that? 2010, 2011. I bought a guy's collection and it had all of those Mech Warrior stuff in it. Well, the Battletech stuff, excuse me. And I sold most of it. And I look back now and I kind of go, maybe I should have kept it. Because like I sold it for like I don't want to say I sold it cheap, but I sold it cheaper than definitely what it is today. Um, that collection had a lot of weird '90s stuff. It had crash test dummies. It had Reboot. It had Cowboy Zamu Mesa, Marvel DC stuff, obviously from the Kenner and Toy Biz era. A lot of crazy stuff from that collection. It was all like weird early to mid '90s stuff, and a bunch of Lego stuff. Tons of Lego stuff. Some of it that I'm still sitting on today. Oh God. Let me tell you something. If you ever buy a Lego collection and you're not a guy who builds a lot of Lego, outside of outside of my boy over here who's coming back soon, huh? Um, I always like to keep a Tahoe nearby. It's just kind of the rule. I always have to like one of every figure I have to keep nearby. um, yeah, good stuff. Uh, but yeah, man, Mech Warrior is Mech Warrior when you had like the Alpha attacks, the Omega attacks and everything playing online. In late '90s PC, good stuff. Roman Schilling wants to know: is it possible we'll see Bruticus? Roman, faux show. Geez, when was the last time we had a Bruticus trademark? So I would not be surprised if we get Bruticus within the next 2 years. In all honesty, I would not be surprised if we get one. He's definitely long overdue, along with all his boys. And Swindle, like Swindle, recently has just got a toy through the Earthspark line. So that individual trademark, maybe they don't have to do, but they're probably going to do the whole thing. What's up, Lee J? Oh boy, Lee J's here. Lee J. I've known Lee J since high school. He's one of my old buddies. Um, we went to an all black high school, so I was the white guy. Yeah, good times. Anyways, nice to see you, Lee J. But yeah, that's why. What's up, King? It's like I think you mean Alpha Strike. Yeah, Alpha Strike. I apologize. I haven't played that game in, no joke, probably 25 years, which means all your weapons fired at the same time, and then you overheat your mech when you do that. I think it was like, was it the enter key? It was like the numpad enter key did the Alpha Strike, and then you would overheat your mech, and then you would have to use a cooldown to cool down your mech. Oh my god, I haven't played that game in forever. So long. Uh, Sarah says, as a Mexican, I could say, well, and everybody realizes that Guillermo del Toro is what made the new Astro Boy movie, but ended up making a freaking Pinocchio movie. Hey man, let me tell you something. That new Astro Boy movie that came, what was that, 2008, 2009? I loved that movie. Okay. That movie was really good. Like, obviously, no one went to see it, but I went to see it in theaters and I actually liked it. The fact that they had the balls in a kid's movie to show the death scene. Am I spoiling? Anyways, but the fact that they left it in there. And the only thing that puts me off is how did Nicolas Cage force himself into an Astro Boy movie? That was the only thing I was like, what is Nicolas Cage doing here? I mean, if you don't know he's there, you probably won't even notice it. But I remember reading the credits after and go, wait, Nicolas Cage was in this movie, and then you go back and watch it, and then you know which character is Nicolas Cage, and then you can't. It's like it's an earworm. You can't get it out of your ear after. You're like, oh, it is him. It is Nicolas Cage. Oh, go back to do another Ghost Rider movie or something. Yeah, you did like one good movie in your life, in my opinion. So go see Lord of War. That's probably his best movie. That's a good movie. Yeah, I know. I liked it. I liked the Astro Boy movie. I liked it. It was really good. And they gave like this big, like, I was hoping they would kind of do a sequel or something. But no one went to see it. I bought one of the toys, the one that has the opening chest with the glowing heart inside. I have that toy in the other room. It's with my Mega Man stuff, obviously, because you can't have Astro Boy stuff without Mega Man. And at the time, I think it was McDonald's had the promotion, so I picked up a few of those every time I went to McDonald's to get like an ice cream or something with a bunch of friends. I'd be like, "Yeah, which Astro Boy toys do you have?" I think was it McDonald's? Yeah, it was McDonald's. It was because I was working at Burger King and I don't think they didn't have Astro Boy. Because I would have took it all, Burger King. I would have took it all. Would have took it all just like I took all your Cybertron toys and your movie toys. If you're part of the Patreon and you get a gift basket from me in the mail, it's a certain tier, you get a free Cybertron Burger King toy with every order. I just throw it in. Mint in package, Megatron, Cybertron Burger King toy. It's the ugliest thing ever, but it's free. You get a toy from almost 20 years ago, mint in the package for free. Good stuff. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Oh my goodness. We're running low on time. 25 minutes. 25 minutes. I got to do a photo shoot with this tomorrow or something. Maybe I'll take one with oh goodness. Goodness gracious. My condolences to anyone who paid full price for some of these. Goodness, unless you love like if Bombshell to you is Hot Rod to me, then I'll respect your choice to want to buy this. This has to have. Okay, it does. Okay, I was so worried that it doesn't even have like a side joint or something. Uh, yeah, but we'll see. We will see. We will see what they do. I'd like to see that new Astro Boy anime that came out in the 2000s was really good. Anything of that, like, Mega Man origin era of stuff, like Cyborg 009, Kaider, Astro Boy, anything in that bubble. I love that kind of stuff because it's you watch that and then you go and you watch Mega Man stuff and you go, ooh, there's the inspirations, you know. You see all that stuff that Inafune-san and Akira used to inspire themselves when they were making Mega Man. Especially like when you watch like Kaider and Cyborg 009, you know exactly where Proto Man came from. You know exactly where he came from. Um, but yeah, but yeah, good stuff. Any other super chats before we call it quits today? Because we're running out of time. We need a few more super chats up in this piece. Super 7. Got to get a few more super chats up in here before we get out. Before we get out, man. Then we're going to enjoy the rest of the evening. And then Monday, we'll see some more reveals probably popping up. Rodimus Power toy unboxing with Needle Nose. We have all the evil small target masters, but only the Autobot is Scoops. Or no, a Scoop. Was it your guess, Protoman? How's the possibility one of the next ones of the missing Autobots? Well, of the missing Autobot ones, it's all those construction ones. So, because you have Quick Mix, we didn't get Quick Mix. The closest thing we got to a modern Quick Mix was the Cybertron Gigalonia planet, giant planet character. Kind of had a Quick Mix version. Maybe we'll get maybe like if we get, let's put it this way, if we get Constructicons as our combiner team, right? I'm pretty sure they could take Mixmaster and maybe make a quick mix. I'm pretty sure they could take long haul and do the other one. And then they just have to give them some target masters on the side. So I'm pretty sure they could do it, but I see them more doing it as a complement, retool, partial kind of thing than making a brand new mold completely. You know? Mikey and Louie Proto, when are we getting the Vok in toy form? Taking forever. You know what? I don't think that'll ever. It's me going, where's my Botanica? And Botanica is a transforming character, and we haven't seen Botanica. The Vok, they would have to do. I mean, it would have to have a transforming element. Look what they did. We got a Quintesson, and they made it into a transforming playset kind of thing. That was the only way that they could sell it as a transformer. I mean, I used to say like, hey, maybe the RED line will, the real robot enhanced design will give us our Vok, but none landfill. Thank you. But none of those are seem to be selling well. So I don't think we'll ever get to the Vok. That's for sure. I think that's all dead in the water, unfortunately, which is really sad. I think that line is finished. I think it's the last few waves are going to come out, and then that might be it. But again, just like this, transformers that don't transform, you got to really give people a good reason to buy them. You know, you got to give people a really good reason. Maybe the Vok with Super 7. Well, if they do Beast Wars stuff, if Super 7, because the rumor is that Super 7 is going to be doing Beast Wars reaction stuff. So if that reaction stuff is well received, we might see a Vok maybe in reaction. That probably won't cost them a lot to do a little Vok figure. That would be cool. That's a possibility. Because the one thing you got to give Super 7 credit, they might be expensive, but they give you the weird. They give you the weird. They really do. And I like the weird. Vok blast effect like Kremzik. Yeah, it would have to be an accessory then. So it'd be a tiny Vok, you know? Sarah says, got 4 Astro Boy toys from that movie, the 3 1/4. Yeah, they did the PVC ones. Naked chest with rocket boots. That was one of them. Freaking Astro Boy Anime and Beast Wars was the series that made me freaking engineer guy that I am. Oh, that's cool then. Well, I find that Transformers a lot of times, a lot of people that are into Transformers, they go on to it's like two opposite sides of the spectrum. Either they go full on like engineer, mechanic, biologist, like they really go into like that deep pseudoscience or like STEM and everything like that. And then you have the guys that just don't do anything. It's kind of like one side or the other, Or you have like the artists too, but usually the artists, they're kind of destined to to be Transformer fans because Transformers are cool artistically. But it's uh it's just how it is. Transformers, especially if you're someone who grew up on Transformers, the enjoyment of engineering and parts had a price tag on this one. The engineering and parts and everything. Where's that price tag from? Oh, that's from the Target thing over there. It fell off on it. The engineering and parts, like just to people, that's what's so fascinating about it. And if you were a kid growing up with that stuff, like I was, I had a ton of GoBots and a ton of Transformers growing up throughout the years and then high school, college. You know, it was like destiny to go into an industry that involves taking something apart and putting it back together. It's just going to happen. Mikey and Louie, if Savage Noble is leftover of what Megatron's beast mode was, that what does that mean down the line? Megatron had a redeeming quality. You know what? I've talked about this, I think, years ago. So Savage Noble, in my opinion, represents what Megatron. So what Megatron did is I felt he captured Silverbolt, and Silverbolt had the eagle in him and the wolf in him, in his Griffin mode, if you will, his fuser mode. And then he extracted the eagle part and then fashioned together what became Jetstorm. I hope I'm not spoiling Beast Machines all these years later, but I mean, if you don't know it at this point, come on, guys. Uh, I won't spoil comics because I know a lot of people don't read comics, but if it's TV stuff that literally you could go on Tubi and watch, come on, guys. Um, but anyways, so I felt that so when we have Jetstorm's a jet, so he's 100% like Falcon. He gets reformatted. He's a Falcon in Beast Machines, and he doesn't have his wolf part anymore. And that wolf aspect was fused with Megatron, who already had a dragon aspect from him, and that's what created Savage Noble. And then when that was separated, Savage Noble having that noble aspect, like Silverbolt, just became this sparkless, wandering beast. So I have always felt that, and this is not official, this is just my interpretation. And if ever I had to write any extended fiction, which you never know, I got to do it with the fun publication stuff. I got to work with a lot of Beast Wars stuff. So if I ever got that opportunity, I would try to write that in to make sense of what was Savage Noble, like what was that wolf mode. So that's just my take. That's always how I kind of saw it, because you take Rhinox captured. What's a rhino if it was a vehicle? Of course it's going to be a tank. Rhinos are tanks. Makes sense. I know you might argue, well, Thrust is a motorcycle and a wasp. The only connection I can make with that is motorcycles are loud and annoying, and so are wasps. So that's the only one I could give there. As someone who's worked on motorcycles for years, the crotch rockets, as we refer to them in the mechanic world. Um, but yeah, so that's the only thing I could say with that. But it's just that's how I've always felt with it. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree with it, but that's kind of how I always would have wanted to write that. And maybe I might get a chance. You never know. Maybe we'll get a future Savage Noble figure, and Proto Man will get an opportunity to write the copy on the back of the packaging and make sense of things. Who knows? Who knows what the future brings? Who knows? You put me up to bat, I will always swing. I will always swing. Mikey says it's because girls dig the brooding, bickering bit. It depends. Women have different tastes. Some of them like the dark, Bishonen, cool guy. Some guys like the hot blooded. Some girls like the hot blooded dudes. Mikey says, "Yep, Silverbolt lost is noble." Yeah, there you go. And Mikey is probably the number one Beast Wars Silverbolt fan. So if I get her blessing, then well, works for me. Sarah says, isn't the part of the wolf mode in Megatron just because the dragon mode has maximal ears and fur in his head as well as deer antlers? Yeah, the deer antler thing is a Aaron Archer creation. Aaron Archer has said it himself. He likes to put antlers in his Megatrons. So he has the antlers in the Dragon Megatron. If you look at Armada Megatron, there's antlers. If you look at Cybertron Megatron, he has the crown from what do you call it? From a more like a Galvatron kind of crown. If you look at Cybertron Megatron, he has the crown, the antlers, which are actually articulated on the toy. So that's an Aaron Archer staple, is the antlers. So it's more so that that's Aaron loves his antlers. Where we at? Where we at? Sarah, no, what did you write here? Brooding bikers. Brooding bikers. Well, I don't know any cool brooding bikers. I don't know many of those. To quote Kevin Nash, uh, motorcycles are just a good way to get yourself killed. Uh, Number one bird dog fan right here. The bird dog, or Bowser boy. Sarah says, fixing the brown plastic in the hips for my Transmetal Megatron. Good luck. Don't even bother. Just stop. I'm just going to stop you right there. Go buy the Japanese version and call it a day. Do not even bother. You're going to break your toy. You're going to break your toy, bud. I'm telling you, there's no hope with that toy. Are you kidding me? I've gone through 3 of those. Well, 2, and the third one is the one that I have right now. Don't even bother. Mikey says Waspinator is said that line in Beast Machines. Oh, I guess he did say that. Oh, it's true. It's true. He did say that when the first time he became back to Waspinator for a split moment when he had that goop put on him. The what's it called, that from the plasma energy chamber, when they found the goop. I haven't watched Beast Machines in like, man, I haven't watched that show in forever. I should go back and watch it. It probably still holds up. It's still good, except for all that techno music. That was the one weakness that Beast Machines had more than anything, was it had like 3 soundtracks and that's it. And they just played those 3 soundtracks over and over. Where Beast Wars had a lot of variety. Season 1 had all that acoustral African kind of music and a little bit of Australian didgeridoo. Like there was all this kind of outback and kind of nice music. And then every so often, characters would have their own little background music, like Black Arachnia kind of has her sneaky, that's kind of her music and her theme. And then when Silverbolt was introduced and Quick Strike, they all had their own unique music. Where unfortunately with Beast Machines, like I don't know if it was just Mainframe kind of taking it easy. Maybe the audio guy was a different guy this time around on the show, but the soundtrack was heavily diminished to being unique. Such a shame, because music was a big part of like, geez, the Western scene from Coming of the Fusers Part 1 and 2. What a fantastic scene. The Death of Dinobot music, like, oh my god. If someone puts out a soundtrack of Beast Wars, like even if it was $100, I'd buy it. No joke. Like I'd buy it day one. Day one vinyl record. Because they'll put it on a vinyl record for some reason. You know? How about Tekkaman Blade, Proto Man? I love Tekkaman Blade. I think the second intro is better than the first. Whoa, my destiny! I love the second intro of Tekkaman Blade. Such a good show. That used to be called Techno Man on Fox. They used to play it at 12 o'clock, and then I saw the Japanese version years later. And they didn't censor too much. Techno Man. A horde of mutant spider crabs are invading the Earth with the help of a young man named Slade, with the ability to transform into Techno Man. Mikey and Louie, we have to like Beast Machines because it's the sequel to the greatest show ever made, and I will agree with that. Techno Power hated the American show name. You know what? Like, look, I can never hate on Japanese imports that have been dubbed in America, because it is always someone's gateway to the real thing. So like for me, if I didn't have Robotech, Samurai Pizza Cats, Speed Racer, what am I leaving out? Dubs of Ultraman on TNT, both Ultraman and Ultra 7, and hey, Power Rangers. If it wasn't for all of those, we wouldn't know about Super Sentai, Toku stuff, all that Japanese anime stuff. When Manga Corp started making VHSs back in the early 90s, and I was renting Tank Police, Venus Wars, Gunbuster, again, Rama One Half through Viz Video, Maison Ikoku, Eight Man After, all those early manga VHSs. Manga Corp VHSs, not manga, the manga. Like, that's gateway stuff. You watch the TV stuff and the bad dubs, but then you go on to go, oh, I like this bad Naruto dub. I want to watch the real deal. And then you're Ronin Warriors. Thank you. How could I forget about Ronin Warriors? 5 fantastic battle armored samurais. Ronin Warriors. That's David K's first job. You want to see David K's first ever job before he was Beast Wars Megatron? Watch the intro to Ronin Warriors. It's David K. That was the first job he ever had as a voice actor for cartoons. 5 fantastic battle armored samurais. Push to the limit. Tao Chi. Love Ronin Warriors. Love, love, love Ronin Warriors. And of course, you can't forget Sailor Moon. So many stuff. It's gateway stuff. So you could complain about the dub, and rightfully so, because it's censored from the original and it was localized and everything, but it still should exist because it's a gateway for people to then get to that stuff. Saint Seiya's another fantastic one. Pegasus Fantasy. Pegasus Fantasy. Pegasus Ryuseiken. All that stuff. I'm the biggest anime nerd of all time. Yeah, I have to warn you guys. Don't let this fool you, okay? Don't let this fool you. This is the biggest dork you'll ever meet in your entire life. All right? I love all of that stuff. All of that. Star Blazer, aka Battleship Yamato. Of course. All of that stuff is amazing. Amazing stuff. Like, I mean, jeez. I'm just trying to think of like some other stuff that I used to watch as a kid that was like localized. Um, there was a lot of French stuff because the one good thing about living in Quebec was Anglophone television, English television was all the classic 80s stuff that we all grew up on. But when you watched French television, it was all anime. It was all anime in French. And I had a lot of that growing up. I watched Dragon Ball like 5 years before it was in English because that stuff was like just way in advance. I've said this before on the stream, but there's this great photo of me in 1995, and you could see in this photo, and I'm in high school and I'm holding a Dragon Ball manga in 1995, and it was in French, which shows how far back that goes. Battle of the Planets, Gotcha Man, that's fantastic too. That's another good one. Gotcha, Man. The remake was really good too. I like that they made a '90s remake where they redid all the designs. I really dug that one. A lot of people weren't a fan of it, but I like it when '90s cell animation and '80s movie budget cell animation will always win me over. Like it has a certain lived in style that's so familiar for me that I will always take over. Like if you gave me the Transformers brand, right? You gave me the Transformers brand and said, you could do whatever you want. You are in control of everything. It would be cell animation. I would want it to be I am tired of CG. I am tired of how low quality CG has become through the years. Like, no offense to Earthspark and stuff, but we're not in the days anymore of Beast Wars and guys working 20-hour shifts to make sure the shading and everything looks perfect, and it's a different world today, and I rather have cell animation. I would like tell them, I'd be like, yo, let's go to Studio Gonzo, let's go to Japan, and I want my next Transformer series made there. I'll write it, I'll plan the stories, I'll pull Aaron Archer out of nowhere just so it has some cred, because my name won't give any credit to it, but just so it has some good cred and everything, and he'll do some designs and stuff. And then I'll bring my friend Josh Perez, and he'll give you some, like I'll hire all my friends because it's always nepotism in these industries, but I'll get all my buddies in on it, and we'll make the best Transformer series ever made, in my opinion. Because I have a story in my head that if ever I was put up to bat, I would take that swing. You know. It would be something that people would really get behind. I dig it. UFO Grandizer, aka Galdarak, as it was called in French. I have a bunch of figures of that upstairs because that is a big Quebec fandom over here. Sarah, the dragon versus winged warrior in Beast Wars isn't referenced in Saint Miguel versus the devil. I don't think so. I think that's just more a coincidence. I don't think. If anything, I felt it was more kaiju. You're referring to like Tiger Hawk versus Dragon Megatron. I think that's more of a kaiju thing. That seems so much more like a Godzilla kind of thing, if anything. Beast Wars had a lot of that kind of kaiju Godzilla reference kind of stuff. Like again, same thing. The ape versus like King Kong versus the T Rex. That's a very like American kaiju kind of stuff. Which Godzilla was what inspired pretty much something like Godzilla. Excuse me, King Kong is something that inspired Godzilla. So lot of that, lot of that. Lee J, I think you mean Galaxy Express 39. The Galaxy Express 39 will take you on a journey, a never-ending journey. A journey through the sky. Lucky Luke. Yeah, that's definitely French, my friend. Lucky Luke. Lucky Luke, c'est en français. C'est en français, monsieur. Yes, I speak French. Et juste avec le luminaire. Wheeled Warriors. I watched obviously Lucky Luke. I did not watch Jason the Wheel Warriors in French. I didn't even know that it played in French. Had no idea. Same thing, like I watched a lot of French television growing up as a kid, but I never saw Transformers in French. I never caught it in French because the channels that I had, Canal Famille, which was like a very popular, it was kind of like the, I have to give an American equivalent. It's kind of like the Cartoon Network of French TV, I guess is the best way to put it, but it had a lot of live action stuff too. I guess maybe Nickelodeon would be the better equivalency. It doesn't exist anymore, but back in the day, like they had tons of cartoons, but it was all anime. It was all anime, and it was great because, like, if you ask a girl who grew up in the '80s here in Montreal, like the stuff that they grew up in, you're gonna hear all of these anime names that are like girl shows, like the Twins of Sinclair, Candy Candy, um, oh my God, what's that other one? CC, CC, Princess CC. Um, what's that one there with the fencer? It was a girl dressed as a guy. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Something of Versailles, something of Versailles. But like they grew up on all of that. Ulysses was in French. That one was in French. Ulysses 3-5, something like that. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Ulysses 3-1. Excuse me. Firing on all cylinders today, ladies and gentlemen. We are down to the last 2 minutes of the live stream. The very last 2 minutes. Very last 2 minutes. It's something of Versailles. It's not Treaty of Versailles, but it was something of Versailles. I know it's going to come to me when I go offline. I just know it. I'm going to be like lying in bed. I'm going to be like, it was that. Anyways, guys, I'm going to use this last 2 minutes just to say again, thank you to everyone who came. We topped out at about like 170. Obviously, when we start talking about anime and stuff, we lose some of the audience, but I'm glad that we have time to talk about all the cool stuff. What am I having for dinner? I already had tacos. Um, I uh, I might as well say what I'm going to probably have. Rose of Versailles. Thank you, True Lagoon. Rose of Versailles. I think it was the Roses of Versailles or the Rose of Versailles. It's the story of there you go. There's people that know. There's people that know. Um I'll just say this, for dessert, what I love to do is because Christmas is over. So if you go to supermarkets like this far out, they still have old Christmas stuff. I bought, no joke, guys. I should have brought the bill down. Lee J, go to Super C. It's a grocery chain here in Montreal. Super C has 70% off candy. I bought $60 worth of chocolate for like, well, I think like 15 bucks. So I have enough chocolate to last me a long time. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to be eating a lot of that. It's so bad for my skin and everything, but once in a while you got to treat yourself, you know? So that's going to be my dessert. I have like a ton of like after eight, if you know what after eight is, like chocolate mints and stuff. Oh, I love those. And junior mints. Uh so bad for you. It's so bad for you, but once in a while you got to spoil yourself. Anyways, guys, thank you all for coming. I want to just give again a shout out to my sponsors. Again, Symbiote Studios, who give us they are my clothing sponsor. So they hook us up with all the clothing we wear here on the pod and the pins and stuff. I'd like to thank Anda Seats. Thank you, Anda Seats, again for providing all the furniture for the podcast, except for our displays and stuff. But for this, I want to thank again Hasbro Pulse and everything. We're going to be working with them soon in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And of course, thank you Aaron Archer, who's somewhere probably in the chat just chilling, for just coming by and giving the extra blessing from the Hasbro world. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for the super chats that I got on the bottom. If you want to continue supporting the podcast long after this voice has shut up and left you for the rest of the night, again, hit that Patreon down there. Come join us on the Patreon. That's probably the best way to support the podcast. If you don't like Patreon, there's the join button that's under the video here for YouTube membership. You could join that way, and you could be like one of the green names over there that have been asking all the cool questions and everything like that. But thank you all for coming. Thanks all the guys. Everyone's awesome. Everyone's amazing. I love talking about anime. I want to in the future, guys. I'm telling you, like what we're gonna do in the future. I'm waiting for. I want to get another webcam. I want to get a second one. We're gonna set up like a table here. We're gonna like open up cool books and stuff. At another point, we have the new setup. We could go in the game room. We're gonna be playing video game stuff. I have a lot of plans for 2023. Let me tell you. I want to have a whole bunch of cool stuff for you guys so we could have a good time hanging out, playing video games, talking Transformers, opening toys, some better than others, let's just say. But thanks all for coming. Thanks for all the love and support. And as always, like I say, take care of yourself, take care of your family. It's not as crazy as the words you think it is. Social media is poison. Just ignore it and just enjoy the good times out there. Walk outside, go for a walk, and realize how beautiful the world really is. I'm out of here. Take care of yourself. Love you all. Peace.